Dear members of the Dutch Society of Technology in Agriculture, thank you very much for inviting me to your seminar and sharing some ideas on autonomous systems in agriculture. Thanks to Eric Pekerit for coming up with this idea while working together in AgroBoFood and developing the strategy paper on European robotics in agri-food. With this presentation, I would like to share some ideas on autonomous halving systems in arable farming. We perceive with high esteem the development of robotic systems in the Netherlands, though it's hard to tell anything new, but I will try. Due to COVID, for me it's the first time using the audio recording feature with PowerPoint. I hope it works. Before diving into my topic, I would like to give a very short self-introduction. I have an agricultural background from farm and science. I'm working for Claas since 27 years. Early activities were in the area of precision farming software development. In the 2000 years, I became involved in research activities. The focus changed towards research networks and their coordination. 5 years ago, major electronic and software activities were located to Dissen, which is 20 kilometers north of Haasewinkel, the headquarters. There we joined forces and raised synergies. The picture gives an impression of the new facilities. Test track and workshops are situated behind the building not visible here. We are currently 250 people working at this location. My relationship to the Netherlands and especially Wageningen is always inspiring. The Dutch way to combine agriculture, bioscience and technology is trendsetting. In 2018, I came back from Wageningen Europe Eng conference. One presentation never left my mind since. It was called When the Best of Technology Meets the Best of Ecology. A little bit of magic happens, and this really happened to me. It was presented by Eldert van Henten and Dirk van Appeldoorn. Thanks to you. Several young professionals educated in the Netherlands joined Claas. Their competence, and not only that, is amazing. Ongoing activities related to the Netherlands are my involvement in AgroBoFood, although it's a pan-European thing, and my role as Claas godfather for Wageningen University. Unfortunately, this job is heavily disturbed by COVID. Some years ago, Claas celebrated its 100th birthday. Small reaper binders were produced in increasing numbers, followed by combine harvesters in increasing size but decreasing numbers. During my professional education in the 80s, 4.5 meters harvesters were reasonably big. Harvesters with 12 meters seemed to be a limit to me, but increase continued. Increase in capacity was basically driven by the effect of reducing unit costs, an example euro per ton of grain. Sometimes this ended up that machines had a fifth wheel. It looked ugly. Short machines had to be used to pull cutter bars for combine harvesters, not to exceed the allowed total length of the system. And the picture that can be seen every day, slurry tanks are often operated with significant overweight. Even me working for a manufacturer of large-sized machines, I'm asking myself about limitations of scalability. Other businesses obviously reached their limits. It can be asserted that installed machine capacities increase over time. Obviously, only a certain portion of the installed capacity can be realized in daily operation. A process gap results that needs further investigations and may motivate for new approaches. These are, first, think about transformation processes. This is technical related. How can technical processes be improved or technical systems be improved? Second, think about transaction. This is more process related. How can processes in terms of decision support be improved? I have done some research on that. Sources are listed on the last slides. See further readings. The before mentioned gaps are a general issue in production-oriented businesses. Obviously, they differ by domain. Due to high environmental exposure and perishableness of products, the utilization capacity is significantly low in agriculture. An example of high utilization capacity is the semiconductor industry that creates an environment specifically designed to production needs. Forestry has a bigger utilization capacity than agriculture because product properties allow for a decoupled and thus sequential process. Of course, wood is not that perishable as agricultural products. Although arable farming will never come close to the utilization rate of semiconductor industry, it is necessary to work on improvements. When thinking about autonomous systems, numerous aspects shall be taken into account. Some are parts of everyday engineering processes, an example labor efficiency, environmental adjustments, and product reliability. Sustainability, resource efficiency, and AI are drivers for autonomous systems at the other end of the scale. For a manufacturer of harvesting machines, autonomy is challenging because it deals with huge amount of material to be processed. Processes in arable farming, like tillage and plant protection, appear to be more obvious to make use of autonomy. Fast improving technologies in terms of sensors, embedded computing, and wireless communications allow for shifting focus from patches toward single plants. Change in scale fosters reduction of machine size, which may lead us to pixel farming. Large machines would not be of benefit when navigating between pixels, especially when they exist of a single plant or different species. I like the visualization from Arne Ruckelshausen, already some years old, but still visionary. Our thinking in terms of high automation was and is driven by rule-based systems. Numerous sensors, controllers, and actors that already existed were related to each other, representing an advanced expert system. Starting with some basic sub-processes, capabilities were extended over time. This approach is of course not limited to combine harvesters, but other machines and their interaction, including business processes. This slide shows an animation of combine harvester and grain cart, each working in autonomous mode, trying to optimize collaboration by adjusting local and global action plans. Own behavior is at least in parts determined by the other machine's situation. The problem can also be solved with a grain cart serving two combines, but not shown here. Core problem here was not making machines autonomous in terms of driving, but execute a productive process and increase utilization capacity. Please play around with this animation. It is based on real-world data. The line ahead of each machine visualizes the local path plan. Purpose for showing this process model is to get an impression about complexity of a harvesting process. Many details and many more have to be taken into account when autonomizing not only a machine but an entire process. It is obvious that there is not one approach to autonomous systems. They either start from scratch or can be considered evolutionary. For us as a manufacturer of harvest machines, the evolution seems appropriate. At least for now, they will not look like robots. By the way, how does a robot look? They might become machines with hidden autonomy. Our own farm management software group made us aware that autonomy has to cover much more than machines. We are aware of an interesting path ahead of us. So far, an estimation from a traditional manufacturer of agricultural machines. I hope I was able to motivate some system-related thoughts. I wish you a fruitful seminar. Thanks a lot for dealing with my ideas.